Hello kids, it's me again, back with another video. Today's video is a little bit extra special because today, the 10th of November, it is my 3-year YouTube anniversary. Now, I don't know if this video is going to be going out on the 10th of November. It would be nice if it did, but who knows what future me has planned. It's my 3-year anniversary. I did something special last year. I ranked all of my videos up till that point. I thought about doing that again, but I thought I didn't want to do it again. So we're not going to be doing it again. But we're sort of kind of going to be doing the same concept again. This year, instead of ranking all of my videos, I'm going to be analyzing all of my YouTube eras. Now, going through my videos, it turns out I have quite a few eras. I think I have I have 8 eras. So what is an era? Basically, I broke up different periods of time for the places that I live, basically. So anytime I'm in a different environment, that's like a different era. And I know that kind of sounds like an arbitrary way to break up my eras, so to speak. But when I think about it, it kind of makes sense, because I feel like every time I live in a different place, the videos that I make are kind of different, because to be honest, it represents a different phase of my life, me living in a different place and making certain videos. So it makes sense, which is why I'm doing it like this. So how artists have an era for every time they release an album. I think the most notable example for this is Lady Gaga, because she changes her aesthetic anytime she puts out a new album, which honestly I think is pretty iconic. I wouldn't say that my aesthetic changed every time I lived in a different place and made videos there, but it's kind of similar, so we're gonna count it. Let's just stop wasting time. Let's get into analyzing my eras. First era. This is when I was just getting my footing. I think, the first few videos that I put on YouTube, I was in my dorm room. I'm not gonna be listing each video for each era because some of them don't have that many, but some of them do have a lot. It was kind of a short era. Like I said, I made 4 videos during this time. First one, it was a video essay, because I didn't have a camera at that time. And then around March 2018, I bought a camera. That was my first camera, and then I made on-camera videos, so that was fun. I think I was maybe planning on doing several video essays, but I only did maybe one. Not a whole lot to say there. I will say I did go back and I watched my first on-camera video just for nostalgia. I do watch my old videos, not infrequently. I don't now as much as I used to, but I just went back and watched it just to see, what the vibe was. And I used to be really nervous on camera, which, it's not that wacky, because, previous to that, I was never really on camera that much, but now I feel like I have more of a handle on it. I'm not as nervous as I used to be. I will say I did have to be on camera for one thing while I was at work, and that I was a bit nervous for that, but it was also because there were other people in the office. Here, I'm alone. I feel like doing it in front of people is a teeny bit different. It was interesting to see my different demeanor on camera back then. Honestly, I'm still pretty fond of this era. It holds a special place in my heart. It was the beginning, because of course, it was the blueprint. So of course I'm going to be pretty fond of it. My favorite video from this era is Who is the Twitter Sugar Daddy? It's my first public video. There are 2 other videos that I put on here that were mostly, one of them was a class project and one of them was a joke. It was a meme video that wasn't even really executed that well, so those are no longer available for the public to see. My first YouTube video, I'll put it that way, because it wasn't a project and it wasn't a meme. And I put a lot of effort into it. I feel like I knew what I wanted my style to be, and I feel like I employed that pretty well in that video, and I more or less still make videos in that kind of style now. Yeah, it was the blueprint, and I appreciate it for what it is. Next era. Honestly, that was pretty iconic. Those videos, they have a special place in my heart. Okay, I don't want to say this for every era, because all of my videos have a special place in my heart. Honestly, to date, there hasn't been a video that I've actively disliked. So, I'm not going to say that for every era, but I will say those, I feel like, you know, I actually had some time, because even though I was working part-time, I wasn't, number one, I wasn't doing very much work while I was working, and number two, it was part-time. I had a lot of time to myself, and I had a lot of time to figure out what I really wanted to do with my channel, and so I feel like I did a lot of experimenting. I don't know if my creativity maxed out at this point, but it was definitely going up. My favorite video from this era is the Cursed Go to Quiz one, because I like nostalgia, I like looking back at the past, and honestly that video was so much fun. I love doing it. If you haven't watched it, you should. It's a banger of a video. Era number 3. So for like 5 months, what year of college this was? So this was 2019. I forgot what year of college this was, and I'm not gonna try to force myself to remember, but basically I stopped making videos for like an entire semester because I was doing college stuff. I had to be a sophomore. Yes, I was a sophomore. So when I was a sophomore in college, the workload kind of ramped up, so I didn't really have the time or the energy or really any ideas to make videos during that time. I do remember at that point in time, I had my camera on my desk at like all times, and often I would find myself wistfully looking at my camera on my desk, wishing that I could make a video, but just not having the think juice to do it, or the time, or the energy. That's why I was gone for literally 5 months. Technically, it's not an era because I didn't make any videos, but I will include one video in this era. Also, when it ended, I did like a full rebrand of my channel. So, real G's, real fans, they remember when my channel was called AVI Productions. I didn't really like that name. I still like the name, just not for a YouTube channel, so I'm probably going to use it for other things. And that's when I changed my channel name to It's Just Arin. At that point, I was thinking about doing a rebrand for like a while, and so eventually I just did it. My favorite video from that era is the one video that I will include from that era, and it's the Where I've Been video, because literally no one cared. I think I remember at that time I had 11 subscribers, so that was fun. And I made this big grand comeback video as if anyone was waiting for me to come back. They weren't. I don't even think there's any comments on that video. Actually, I can look. No, there's 0 comments on that video. And I think it maybe got 6 views total, so that was fun. I mean, hey, YouTube is a lot of talking to nobody until someone stumbles upon the video, so it was a vibe. Era number 4. I was getting my footing once more after being away for 5 months, trying to re-figure out what I wanted to do and then kind of trying to implement that. And of course, it took place in my dorm room again because I was back at school. So 2 of those videos that I'm going to include in that era took place at my house, but I'm going to include them because technically I was on like Christmas break. It still fits into the dorm room era. Not gonna lie, it was kind of forgettable. I'll call it now and I'll say that dorm room 2 was my flop era. I did make a lot of videos that I like, but I just feel like that it doesn't get dwelled on by me. It happened, it came, it went. I mean, there weren't even really all that many videos in it. 2 of those videos took place not in my dorm room. I'm gonna call that my flop era. I will proudly say that dorm room 2 is my flop era because not even I don't care about it. So, my favorite video from this era, I will say, is the Sometimes Your Faves Suck, because I don't know why. I made that video, was it 2019? I made that video a while ago, and for some reason, people are still watching it. I don't know why. I appreciate you, thanks for watching it, but it was about old drama, and I feel like old drama that's not necessarily relevant in current day, because like drama videos, it was kind of different from a drama video because it wasn't about YouTube or like influencers. It was about a band, and I guess not really niche. If you think about it, Periphery has a lot of fans, but for the world at large, it's niche. So I guess that's why people come back to watch it. I don't know. The people are still watching it. I look at my analytics and it's still getting numbers, so a few, but it's enough to show up on the radar, so that's interesting. People are still watching that. Era number 5. From March 2020, that was last year, from March 2020 for like until I went back to school that next semester. Honestly, that era, even though it was objectively depressing, that was more iconic than the Ice House era because I feel like at that point, for a couple of months I was still doing classes, but they were online, so that's hardly like doing classes. My workload wasn't that big, and I felt like I had an endless amount of time and creativity now that I was at home. So I feel like I really liked the videos that I made in that era. Mostly it was video essays. I do like a good video essay from myself. I do really like doing them. I had basically unlimited time. It's not like I was doing anything anyways. I wasn't working. I couldn't go anywhere. Hello? Death was knocking on people's doors, so it's kind of best to stay inside. That didn't last very long. It was only a few months. So I would say it's like a normal summer break, which is why I was able to enjoy it. It was only maybe 4 short months, if that. So I felt like that was really conducive to my creativity. I made a lot of videos during that era. Honestly, so many videos. Because like I said, I had more or less unlimited time and unlimited creativity. Because now that I didn't have to like do schoolwork, I could focus on YouTube. So that was really fun for me. So my favorite video from this era is gonna be a collection of videos. A collection of videos that I call the Nostalgia Quadrilogy. Because of course I was at home during this time, back in my childhood bedroom. I was around a lot of stuff that, you know, I wasn't able to, I guess, dwell on breaks because I was only there for like a little while. So I ended up making videos about some things that I enjoyed in my youth. Mostly it was just video games. Actually, yeah, it was just video games. But hey, that's my nostalgia. I played a lot of games growing up, especially during the times that I was talking about, so like 6th, 7th, 8th, middle school. The Nostalgia Quadrilogy is the Ace of Spades video, my Sims 2 Machinima videos. I'm gonna count those as one, I guess, making of video and the Machinima itself. I feel those are like one collective video. And then there's the Habbo Retros video, which again, that's another video that people are still watching to this day. In fact, I got like 2 comments on it today, and I put out that video last year. And sometimes, you know, videos on this platform, they don't have a very long shelf life, but I guess it really depends. I'm glad people like that video because I really liked it too. And of course the Pirate Minecraft video, which was the least popular of the quadrilogy, but I still appreciate it a lot. Those videos too are ones that I go back and watch because, you know, it's fun to relive things. Also, for people wondering, nobody's probably wondering, but for the people who are wondering, Ben Axelite has not replied to my email. I emailed him a million years ago before I put that video out. I have not gotten a response back. In fact, I'm gonna go back and look. It could have got lost. I don't know. Have not heard back. So it is what it is. I honestly wasn't expecting to hear back from him considering he like disappeared from the internet for all that time, but what can you do? Era number 6. This is me going back to school after pandemic tings, so that was interesting. I made a lot of fun videos during this time. At this point, I finally got monetization. I think the first video that I made when I was actually back to school was my Valnet video, and that was my first video that I actually had monetization on for. For the beginning of a new era, the video kind of slapped, it kind of popped off, it kind of went hard. I'll call this one the opinions era, because I had a lot of opinions and I was making them known. Usually my videos from this era, well, there's the video essays, and they're also just me talking about how I felt about things. Not a lot of fun, silly videos, except, I guess, unless you call my video about me getting a new computer a fun, silly video, but it was neither fun nor was it silly, so. My favorite video from this era, which I kind of spoiled already, but it was the Valnet video because I feel, when I made that video, I felt honestly like I was a little journalist. Being able to crack a story, being able to spill some tea. And I feel like this one, even though it's not my most viewed video, it got a really decent response. Not only from the viewers, but also I had a former employee reach out to me to share their story for some reason, and I don't really know why. Maybe it's because I looked it up like a few times, but I'll get an email from Glassdoor every so often with new reviews for Valnet, the company, and for the most part, for those who work, like I said in the video, for those who work at the office, their work life is fine, but the freelancers are getting stepped on. And honestly, you know, anytime a wacky headline goes trending on Twitter, it's always Screen Rant. And if it's not Screen Rant, it's like one of their other properties just wilding out for a poorly written article. And the articles are poorly written because the people who write them aren't getting paid that much to write them, so of course they're going to be poorly written. I could go on and on about this topic, but I already have in like 2 separate videos, which you should go watch because they slap. Era number 7, the penultimate era. Listen, I know I call it the depression era, but I wasn't actually depressed. At the same time, I never talked to like a psychologist or professional about it, so who knows? The jury's still out. Could have been. I don't know. It's entirely possible. It was an era marked by sadness. At the beginning, things were going okay. You know, it felt like yet another break, another summer break, but it's a summer break that lasted for entirely too long and also started in the winter. So yeah, I graduated officially from school in December of 2020. So after that, I went home. I was under the foolish impression that I would be able to find a job relatively quickly. I don't even know what the factors were for me not being able to find a job. I can't tell you. I mean, obviously I found one eventually, but it did take 8 months. I don't know if that's normal. I don't know, like, if it was because we were in a pandemic or if it was because of the places that I was applying to geographically, or if it was because of the field that I was in. I don't know. Eventually it ended up working out, but it took 8 months. And after 4 of those 8 months, I got really sad about it. So that's why I called it the depression era. By the end of it, I was ready for it to end. My time at home to end. And it did, because hello, I'm here. So at this point in time, the quick vid has entered the chat. That's when I started doing all of my quick vids, just scripted, static background, not a whole lot to them. Except for one of the Jimmy Snow videos. It was legit 30 minutes and I called it a quick vid. I know, it's a little weird, but the format was the same. It's just, at that point, the length was not the same. Really long era. My longest era to date, I think. It lasted like 8 months. Almost a year. I don't think I've been in one place for almost a year since I started doing YouTube. That's why I was able to split my time on YouTube up into eras based on where I was at. The live streaming era, I was doing regular live streams like once a week for like a hot second. Honestly, that lasted for like a month. It was a fun little experiment. You know, my internet was kind of terrible and the setup was decent. I like the setup. It was a good setup. And honestly, some of those streams I had a lot of fun. The Among Us streams, the first few Among Us streams, those were so much fun because I actually had people in the audience playing with me. That was iconic if I do say so myself. Eventually, I ran out of things to stream, so it was just chat streams with a list of topics, and it kind of fell off at the end. It was kind of like the pandemic tings era, and that I was at home for a indeterminate amount of time, so I had more or less unlimited time and unlimited ideas to do stuff. As it progressed, I had less and less energy to do things because I was sad. So, you know, towards the end, the execution just wasn't there. So they kind of tapered off after a while. I wasn't as active towards the end of my depression era, so it was really a mixed bag. You know, I had a lot of different types of videos. Of course, I put out the video essays, I did the live streams, the quick vids, the silly fun videos, and the more in-depth serious videos like the Lily Jean one. So, you know, there was a lot there. It was very varied, so that was fun. How can we forget the purple background? That was iconic. Hello, purple for a wall color, uncommon. You know, I was really thinking when I chose my wall color, when I was first moving into that house, it was like, yeah, this purple wall is really gonna pay off after a while. And you know what? It did. Miss Purple Wall, I miss you so much. So my favorite video from this era, my previous eras, I didn't typically pick my most popular video from that era. I picked just the video that I enjoyed the most. And honestly, my favorite video from my depression era is my most popular video from that era and my most popular video overall. It's my Sims iceberg video because I feel like the passion to effort to response ratio of that, so let's say how much passion I had for the idea plus how much effort went into the idea and how much response I got out of it, is like 1 to 1 to 1. So I had a lot of passion for it, I put a lot of effort into it, and people watched the heck out of that video. And honestly, that's why it's still my channel trailer, because it's my favorite video. Honestly, yeah, it's my favorite video I've made. I love that video with all of my heart, and I'm so glad that it turned out how it did, and it got the response that it did, and it got, you know, a lot of people liking it. I'm glad that I made that video. I like that era for what it is, and honestly, iconic video, Sims iceberg video. Gosh, what a vibe. You know, the depression era, it had its ups and downs. That's why it's called the depression era. It had some great ups, like the iceberg video, and it had some great downs, like me being sad for 8 months. So you take what you can get. The 8th and final era of my YouTube tenure, we'll say, is the apartment era. This is my current era. This is my apartment. I pay for it. I live here. Also known as the full-time job era, because I have a full-time job. It's my current era, so I don't really have a whole lot to say about it. I have a few things, but not like a ton. Videos are sparse, but like I said, I do work full-time, so it's kind of harder now to make videos. It's not even that I don't have the want to make them, it's just that I don't have the time. However, I'll be trying a new thing now. I'm going to try to go to bed later, because usually I go to bed pretty early. Some would say it's obscenely early. I think 8 o'clock is a fine time to go to bed. I saw this one New York Times headline. I didn't read the article. I skimmed the tweets of it, and it said that the good time to go to bed is like 10 to 11. And since I usually fall asleep around 10, I thought, okay, I can get in bed at that time. So a few things to help me not fall asleep immediately after I get back from work. For instance, I'm still in my work clothes, not the shirt. I didn't wear the shirt to work. I changed shirts because it had my company's logo on it. I haven't made dinner yet because after I eat, I get sleepy, and then I'll get in bed at like something crazy like 7:50, and then I'll like fall asleep still at 10, because when I get in bed all I do is watch YouTube videos. So we're gonna see if this is conducive to me having a better after work experience, so we'll see if it works out. Honestly, today will be my first day testing this hypothesis. So the upside to the apartment era is that I have more money and I'm not sad, but the downtime is that I have no time to make videos and I'm kind of creatively thirsty. I don't really have a lot of time to creatively express myself. I mean, I have been writing more recently, which is great. Like I said, I just finished a feature-length screenplay that took a while to make, and that was a creative endeavor of mine. I'm working on another one. I draw sometimes, but I haven't actually drawn or completed a drawing or even started a drawing in the entire month of December. No, well, yes, because December isn't here yet, but the entire month of November. Haven't even drawn this month. I'm not gonna lie, kind of hurts. Kind of want to do some drawing, but you know, anytime the weekend comes, it's, oh, I gotta wash my clothes and clean my whole apartment and just kind of not do anything for a while just to recover from the week. So I really need a creative outlet every once in a while, more than every once in a while, to be completely honest. So, you know, unless I work on videos while I'm at work like I did with the outline for this video, I'm not gonna lie, I wrote it while I was at work. There's really not really a whole lot of opportunities for me to make videos. I mean, I'm still making them, just not as often as I once did during the Depression era. And of course, I can't really make that many in-depth video essays like I used to unless I do them on the weekends. But again, that's just gonna take willpower for me to do stuff when I get off of work instead of eating and going to sleep, and then just taking my weekends to do a video. Of course, I'm not like pushing myself to make videos, which is another thing. I've never stuck to a schedule. The only schedule that I ever stuck to as regards to YouTube is my streaming schedule, and that only lasted for like a month. Even if I do try to stick to a schedule, it's not gonna last a long time. I knew from the beginning trying to do an upload schedule was going to kill me, so no, that's not gonna happen. But you know, the videos that I do make, I enjoy them. They kind of slap. I like them. I like making them, and I enjoy putting them out and having other people enjoy them. So, you know, this era isn't exactly my flop 2.0 era. It's just a little different. More effort equals more time spent on videos, and I don't have unlimited time anymore. Things are a little bit different. Not bad, just different. Hopefully the next era isn't for a while, because I don't plan on leaving this place for as long as I can help it. I said I was gonna give this place 2 good years, and then at that point, it's time for me to move on to something else. 2 years, that would make the apartment era my longest era. I guess we shall see. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting. Who knows what the future holds? I surely don't. My favorite video from this era, even though this era doesn't even have that many videos to speak of, it is my Shane Dawson one, because, you know, my film degree for that video worked overtime, okay? I love putting my film degree to work, especially considering I don't really get to use it for my job. So it's gotta come out sometimes, all right? I gotta whip the degree out sometimes. In conclusion, 3 years on this platform, what can we conclude from these eras? well, I don't really know what can be concluded from the eras themselves, but I will say, I do like doing YouTube. It's fun. I don't know if I'm gonna be here for another 3 years. Who knows? It'd be nice. But like I said, who knows what the future holds. I would like to be here for another 3 years because I do really like making these videos. It's fun. I don't want to be too retrospective and like sappy, and I don't like doing that, so I'm gonna leave it there. So all of these eras were different and special in their own way, and looking back at my life in terms of eras instead of years is fun because it makes me feel more important. Maybe I am an artist who changes aesthetics each time I put out an album. It's just that the album is a place that I live and the aesthetic is not concretely defined. So there you go. My favorite era, of course we have to have a favorite era out of all these eras, and honestly, it's my depression era. Now hear me out. I did say I was like sad and very much not happy during that time, but it was a pop-in time for my YouTube channel. As far as YouTube goes, like that singular aspect of my life, it was kind of dope, I'm not gonna lie. I had seemingly endless time to express myself, which is all I needed. I didn't have the energy to do some stuff towards the end of it, because, you know, depression. When I did do stuff, it was really worth it. It felt really worth it, you know, creatively speaking. I absolutely do not want to go back to that time in my life of applying for literally 5 or more jobs every day and crying all the time, but you know, it had its ups and downs. It was good, but it can stay in the past. It can stay where it is. I like looking back on it, but I do not wish to return. Anyways, it's been a lit 3 years. Let's hope for 3 more years. Hopefully more than 3 years, maybe, who knows, I don't know. And I'll just keep on trying to make videos that, number 1, I like, and number 2, that people like. So far, I've been doing a good enough job at that. So as long as I keep doing what I'm doing, I think I'll be fine. That's it for this video. I keep on sliding. I'm supposed to be over here, but I'm in the middle. God. Follow me on Twitter. Donate to my Ko-fi. Read my Medium articles. And that's all I have for today. If you'll excuse me, I'll be thinking up more video ideas to bring to you in the next 3 years.